Hey, I'm Robert Pearson, and this is Follow the Leader, where I sit down and we talk Bible stuff and try and become better men, husbands, fathers through God's Word, following Jesus, all the good things. We're in Romans chapter 12 today. Verses 16 to 18. Here we go. Be of the same mind toward one another. Do not be haughty in mind, but associate with the lowly. Do not be wise in your own estimation. Never pay back evil for evil to anyone. Respect what is right in the sight of all men. If possible, so far as it depends on you, be at peace with all men. So, what's your least favorite part of this? It's hard sometimes, at least for me. I never pay back evil for evil. It's nice doing what's instinctively comes when somebody wrongs you or cuts you off in traffic. You're just like, and you want to cut them off again, or run up around them, or whenever anyone's a jerk to you, want to just be a jerk right back to them. And it serves them right. Yeah, but it doesn't serve you right. It doesn't help you at all. It just makes you more angry and just continues the anger. Respect what is right in the sight of all men. A strong implication that there's such a thing as what's right and can be easily seen to be right by everybody. That would make sense if a kind and loving, omniscient God created the world and made all human beings, so that even ones that claimed to not believe he existed would still have certain things that they held objectionable in common with his revelation. So, we have one key word here. I'd have to say haughty, a fancy word for proud or arrogant. Because the other stuff is made easier by be of the same mind towards one another. And there we go. Sorry. Do not be haughty in mind. Don't be proud or arrogant, but associate with the lowly. Do not be wise in your own estimation. So when you don't take yourself too seriously, you understand there's a lot of things that you don't know. And you're not so proud that you don't mind spending time with people you might deem beneath you. When you're humble and you know where you are in life, it's a lot easier to not pay back evil for evil. It's a lot easier to do the right thing that is, easily observed what's right. It's a lot easier to be at peace with others because you're not backbiting and paying back evil for evil. You're not complaining about them behind their back, which would be paying an evil for an evil. If somebody wrongs you and then you go gossip about them, hey, can you believe what so-and-so did? That's paying back evil for evil. Gossip is evil, and you're paying it back because they did something wrong to you. Two wrongs don't make a right, and two rights don't make a left. It's three rights. So, all right. So what's peace? Be at peace with all men. We're going to be humble, and we're going to seek peace, but how do we know we've gotten to peace? Peace is one of those kind of common sense ones, but it's not often thought critically about. And I would say it's like a state of forgiveness. I don't have a verse to back it up right now or cross references. I always do these kind of just off the top of my head, like a conversation. But to define peace in one sentence, I would say it's sort of a state of forgiveness where you're in a place where you forgive other people and are grateful for just life. So yeah, it's a combination of being forgiving And being grateful kind of leads to peace. Once again, not the peace that surpasses understanding, where that comes from Christ living in your heart. This is a little more, this is clearly a more of a practical, interpersonal context. And as much as it depends on you, be at peace with all men. So you're not worrying, your peace doesn't rely on, this kind of peace isn't going to rely on what they do or what they think or how they feel about you or what they said. It's on your side. Have you done everything that you could to de-escalate the confrontation and to kind of bring things down to a calm level, an even playing field? And if you've done everything that you can and they're still acting a fool or angry at you or refuse to forgive you, that's not anything you can help. They have free will given by God, so they're allowed to choose to be that way. And you're allowed to choose to be peaceful. Forgive them for their behaviors and just think about the things that you're grateful for and that make the situation good or better. So, are you already doing this? Are you already working on being humble, or are you already working on trying to be the bigger man, as it were, trying to keep the peace? One of my coworkers got laid off today. It sucks, but things happen. And he was just real chill about it, which is interesting because he's not normally like a chill guy. He seems the type who could get ornery or get upset about stuff, but he was just really relaxed about it and said, whatever happens, happens. And was confident that he would bounce back. And you could tell he's a little irked, but he was chill about it. It was an excellent example of this idea right here, that just be at peace. There's no sense in getting all worked up over nothing. And at the end of things, it's not about safety, if it's not about your life, and it's not about Jesus or anything, water under the bridge, life goes on. But, so I don't know, I always try and make sure that I'm humble. I try to always have an accurate assessment of where my skills and abilities are, and always know that my worth as a human being, while infinite in God's eyes, it's not always infinite in other people's eyes, right? So if you're a dishwasher getting paid $7 an hour, your worth is $7 an hour to that other person for that time you're there, and you just wash dishes, and it's not a big deal. And plan your move upward. Wash dishes the best you can while you're there. And I struggle on the never pay back evil for evil, because it's traffic. Traffic is the one where it's about every other day. It's hit or miss. Every other incident where someone will act a fool, I'll either be really, really chill about it and go, well, it's sad that they're dumb, and then there will be other days where I'm tired or in a rush or hungry, tired, and in a rush. Those are the days you just slip more. You're just going to. Just pick yourself up, figure it out, apologize for what you said in front of the kids, and keep going. So what are some practical ways we can maybe get better at all this? I always try and put everything that happens to me in context. This works for the humility. It also works at being at peace. And it really is a context of, has anyone died? Has anyone gone to the hospital? If the answer is no to both of those, everything is going to work itself out. If no one has died and no one is going to the hospital, yes, it might still be important. It could be job stuff. It could be, somebody's a bad influence on your kids, or, somebody endangered your life, however briefly, because DC traffic is awful. But no one did die. So address the situation, but now in its context, where it's not life and death, or isn't life and death anymore. Seriously, the traffic is terrible. So once you have it in perspective, though, it's easier to be humble. It's easier to be at peace and to extend forgiveness, because you go, wait, no one I care about has died or been hospitalized. No other human being outside of like my core family has died or been hospitalized. Everything else is a bonus then. If no one in your immediate life has died because of something, and no one that extended in your extended situation has died, no human life has been lost or harmed significantly, everything else is a bonus. It's a good day then. And keeping stuff in that perspective makes it easier to go, well, yeah, I'll just dig a hole right now or lay sod, because I'm an electrician, but I'm laying sod right now because that's just the job I have right now. Things happen. Got pretty good at laying sod. I know how to do it. Got stronger. Yeah. So, you just take the positives, and when it's in context of, well, it's not the worst case scenario. It's not even a kind of worst case scenario. It's actually kind of a mediocre case scenario. Then everything beyond and above that is good. It's golden. It makes it easier to be humble. It makes it easier to be at peace, because you understand everything in its immediate context of nobody died, and even in the grander context of the whole world's gonna come to a fiery end anyway when God comes in judgment. And then in the middle point is everybody's gonna die. Everybody you're talking to in 60 or 80 years is gonna be dead. So with this little argument right now, it's not a big deal, because we'll all be dead in 60 years, 80 years. It's a little grim, but then the little kindnesses that happen suddenly have a much, you realize there's that positive significance. If you don't have anything bad to compare good stuff to, you're going to take the good stuff for granted. And then you only think better stuff is good stuff, while you just miss all the good stuff. That's how you take your family for granted. That's how you take life for granted. If you're in an argument with your wife, yeah, that sucks. However, your wife isn't dead. Your wife is agreeing to be in the same house as you. Those are a lot of things that other people don't have. You have a wife. Those are things that are miles ahead of somebody else who doesn't have a wife, whose wife has died, whose wife doesn't want to be in the same house as him, and they've got legal stuff going on. If you don't have that, then the little tiff over who's taking the garbage out isn't as tragic, and you can process it better and just take the trash out. I'm the worst at this. So that's all I got for today. Be at peace with all men, as much as it depends on you, and I will see you next time. Godspeed.